Admiral Vorthok's mandibles clicked in satisfaction as he surveyed the tactical display aboard the ISS Dominion. 12 Imperial dreadnoughts moved in perfect formation through the Kepler neutral zone, their crimson hulls gleaming like fresh blood against the star-scattered void. The Empire's Fourth Fleet was the crown jewel of military might, unmatched and utterly confident in their supremacy over the galaxy's lesser species. Sector sweep complete, Admiral, reported Commander Zilth, her violet eyes reflecting the holographic star charts. No anomalous readings detected. The trade routes remained secure under Imperial protection. Vorthok's chest swelled with pride. For 3 centuries, the Galactic Empire had maintained absolute control over this region of space. Their advanced AI systems, quantum shields, and plasma weaponry had crushed every rebellion, absorbed every independent world, and eliminated every threat to their dominion. Today's patrol was routine, a simple show of force to remind the lesser races who ruled the stars. The bridge hummed with quiet efficiency. Technicians monitored sensor arrays, while tactical officers tracked the movements of distant merchant vessels. Everything was proceeding according to Imperial doctrine, exactly as it had for generations. The Empire's grip on the galaxy was absolute, unshakable, eternal. Then space itself began to tear. A brilliant azure rift cracked open directly ahead of the fleet formation, reality splitting like ancient parchment. Energy cascaded from the wound in space-time, casting impossible shadows across the Imperial vessels. Warning klaxons shrieked as sensor arrays overloaded, their displays flickering between incomprehensible readings and static. "What in the name of the void is that?" Vorthok snarled, his claws digging into the armrests of his command throne. Before anyone could answer, something emerged from the rift, something that defied every tactical database in the Imperial archives. The vessel was colossal, easily matching the size of an Imperial super-dreadnought, but its design was unlike anything in known space. Sleek curves melded with angular surfaces, creating a form that seemed simultaneously ancient and impossibly advanced. The hull was midnight black, drinking in starlight rather than reflecting it. Strange geometric patterns pulsed across its surface with bioluminescent blue light, as if the ship itself was alive. No visible weapons ports marred its exterior, yet every instinct screamed that this was a predator beyond imagination. "Admiral, I'm detecting massive energy signatures from the unknown vessel," announced Lieutenant Krex, his voice trembling. "The quantum resonance patterns they're not in anyone's databases." Vorthok's blood ran cold. The Empire had catalogued every known species, every ship design, every technological signature in the galaxy. This vessel was an impossibility, a ghost from the void that shouldn't exist. "Hail them," he commanded, fighting to keep his voice steady. "Demand identification and compliance with Imperial space law." The communications officer's fingers danced across a console, broadcasting the standard Imperial greeting on all frequencies. Seconds stretched into eternity as they waited for a response. The mysterious ship hung motionless in space, its surface patterns pulsing with hypnotic rhythm. No response came. The silence was deafening. "Increase power to the transmission array," Vorthok ordered. "They will acknowledge the Empire's authority." Again, nothing. The alien vessel remained as silent as the grave, its dark hull absorbing their signals like a black hole devours light. But something was happening. The ship's energy signature was shifting, building toward something that made the Empire's most advanced sensors scream warnings. "Admiral, the unknown vessel is powering weapons systems," reported Commander Zilth, her voice sharp with alarm. "Multiple energy sources activating across the hull. All vessels, raise shields and prepare for combat." Vorthok barked into his command channel. "This is Admiral Vorthok, of the 4th Imperial Fleet. You are trespassing in Imperial space and will submit to our authority or face the consequences." The response was immediate and devastating. The mystery ship's hull suddenly blazed with weapon ports that materialized from nowhere, emerging from the seamless surface like eyes opening in darkness. Energy beams of impossible intensity lanced out, striking the Imperial formation with surgical precision. The first target was the ISS Retribution, a heavy cruiser on the fleet's port flank. The alien weapons tore through its quantum shields like they were made of paper, punching through armor plating that had withstood bombardment from entire enemy fleets. The cruiser didn't explode, it simply ceased to exist, its matter scattered into subatomic particles. "Impossible," whispered Tactical Officer Nexus, his scaled face pale with shock. Nothing can penetrate Imperial shielding that is. 2 more beams reached out, striking the dreadnoughts ISS Conquest and ISS Supremacy. Their shields collapsed instantly, their hulls splitting open like ripe fruit. Atmosphere and debris scattered into the void as the mighty warships died without firing a single shot in response. All vessels, return fire. Vorthak roared, his composure finally cracking. Concentrate all firepower on the unknown vessel. The remaining Imperial ships opened fire with everything they had. Plasma cannons erupted in brilliant cascades of destruction. Quantum torpedoes streaked through space, and particle beams carved lines of annihilation across the void. For a moment, the space around the alien vessel became a maelstrom of Imperial fury. When the energy dissipated, the mysterious ship remained completely unharmed. Its hull hadn't even been scratched. Direct hit with full fleet firepower, reported the tactical officer, his voice hollow with disbelief. No effect whatsoever. Their defensive systems are beyond our understanding. The alien vessel moved for the first time, accelerating with impossible grace toward the Imperial formation. Its movement was utterly silent, lacking the fusion flares and quantum distortions that marked conventional starship propulsion. It simply glided through space like a predator stalking its prey. Evasive maneuvers, Vorthok commanded, but his ships were massive dreadnoughts built for domination, not agility. The alien vessel moved around them like a dancer, its weapons reaching out to claim victim after victim. The ISS Tyranny tried to ram the intruder, its captain choosing a warrior's death over surrender. The collision never came to alien ship, simply phased through the Imperial dreadnought's hull like a ghost, emerging from the other side unharmed, while the Tyranny's structure collapsed from some unknown effect. "Admiral, we're detecting massive system failures across the fleet," reported Commander Zilth, her voice thick with panic. "Our AI networks are being infiltrated by something. The computers are fighting back, but they're being..." On the tactical display, red warning lights cascaded across every Imperial vessel. Their sophisticated AI systems, the pride of Imperial technology, were being systematically dismantled by an intelligence that operated on principles they couldn't comprehend. Ships began losing navigation, weapons control, and life support, as their electronic brains were devoured by digital predators. "Cut all network connections," Vorthak ordered desperately. "Isolate the primary systems." Too late. The alien intelligence had already penetrated their defenses, spreading through the fleet's communication networks like a virus. But this wasn't random destruction, it was surgical, precise, leaving just enough systems online to ensure the crew's survival while stripping away every weapon and defense. Through the chaos, Junior Analyst Kef noticed something others had missed. "Admiral, the attack patternet's not random. They're specifically targeting command and control nodes while avoiding life support systems. They're trying to disable us, not destroy us." Vorthak's eyes narrowed as he studied the tactical display. The young analyst was right. Despite their overwhelming technological advantage, the aliens were showing restraint. They could have annihilated the entire fleet in minutes, but instead they were methodically stripping away Imperial capabilities while keeping casualties to a minimum. "What do they want?" he muttered, watching as another dreadnought went dark, its crew alive but helpless. The answer came without warning. A new voice filled the bridge, not through their communication systems, but somehow directly into their minds. It was human in cadence, but utterly alien in its cold precision. "We are not conquerors." This was a warning. "Don't follow." The words echoed through every ship in the fleet, heard by every crew member simultaneously. The voice carried implications that chilled the soul. Vast age, incomprehensible purpose, and a patient fury that had been building for eons. "Who are you?" Vorthak demanded, speaking to the empty air. "What species? What empire?" Silence answered him. The alien vessel had stopped its attack, hovering motionless among the crippled Imperial ships. Its hull patterns pulsed once, twice, then began to fade. "Admiral, they're preparing to leave," reported the sensor officer. "The quantum rift is reopening." But before departing, the mysterious vessel performed one final act. A beam of pure energy reached out, not to destroy, but to write. Letters of light burned themselves into the fabric of space itself, forming words in perfect Imperial script that would remain visible for centuries to come. "We are not conquerors." This was a warning. "Don't follow." The message hung in the void like a cosmic gravestone, its meaning clear to all who would witness it. The alien ship turned away from the devastated Imperial fleet, moving back toward the azure rift that had brought it into their reality. As it passed through the tear in spacetime, the vessel's hull patterns flared one final time. For just an instant, symbols became visible across its surface, ancient markings that spoke of a species that had touched the stars when the galaxy was young, then vanished into legend and myth. The rift closed with a soundless implosion, leaving only empty space and the burning message behind. The mysterious vessel was gone, but its warning remained etched into the very structure of reality. Admiral Vorthok sat in his command throne, staring at the tactical display where 12 proud Imperial dreadnoughts had been reduced to drifting hulks, 9 ships destroyed or disabled, hundreds of crew members dead, and the Empire's most advanced fleet humbled by a single unknown vessel. "Send a priority transmission to Imperial Command," he ordered, his voice barely above a whisper. "Code Black. First contact with unknown hostile force. Request immediate reinforcement of all border sectors." Commander Zilth moved to comply, but her hands shook as she activated the communication array. "Admiral, what do we tell them about the attackers? We don't even know what species they were." Vorthok closed his eyes, trying to process what he had witnessed. The alien vessel's technology was beyond anything in Imperial database, its capabilities defying every known law of physics. But there had been something in the way it moved, fought, and communicated that suggested a terrible possibility. "Tell them we encountered something old," he said finally. "Something that's been waiting in the dark places between stars, growing stronger while the galaxy forgot it existed." Analyst Kef stepped forward, his young face graved with understanding. "Admiral, I've been analyzing the attack patterns and energy signatures. There are similarities to theoretical models in our oldest archives based on legends and myths about a species that supposedly existed before the Empire's rise." "What species?" Vorthok asked, though he dreaded the answer. "The ones the ancient texts call humanity," Kef replied. "The species that supposedly vanished from known space 3,000 years ago, leaving only ruins and ghost stories behind." The bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity, the bogeyman of galactic folklore, the species that had supposedly mastered technologies beyond comprehension before mysteriously disappearing. Most scholars dismissed the legends as primitive superstition. But what if they were wrong? If they're real? Commander Zilth whispered, "And if they've been evolving in isolation for 3 millennia?" She didn't need to finish the thought. Everyone understood. While the Empire had grown fat and complacent, spreading across the galaxy like a slow plague, humanity had apparently been forging themselves in fires that would have consumed lesser species. They had emerged from their hidden realm as something beyond the Empire's ability to comprehend or defeat. The tactical display flickered, showing the message still burning in space outside. "We are not conquerors." This was a warning. "Don't follow." The words carried a weight that crushed Imperial arrogance beneath their simple truth. Admiral Vorthok stood slowly, his aged joints protesting. For the first time in his long career, he felt the weight of genuine fear. The Empire had encountered something that could destroy them without effort, yet had chosen mercy instead. The question was whether that mercy would extend to a second meeting. "Signal the fleet," he commanded. "We're withdrawing from this sector immediately. Mark it as a no-travel zone and establish a perimeter at maximum safe distance." "Admiral, Imperial doctrine requires us to investigate and report on all unknown technologies," protested Commander Zilth. "High Command will demand a full analysis." Vorthok turned to face her, his eyes reflecting the burning message visible through the viewport. "Then tell High Command that we found something in the dark, something that makes the Empire look like children playing with toys. And if they're wise, they'll listen to the warning we were given." The crippled Imperial fleet began its slow retreat from the Kepler neutral zone, leaving behind only the message etched in space and the growing certainty that the galaxy's balance of power had just shifted forever. Somewhere in the darkness between stars, humanity was watching, waiting, and preparing for whatever would come next. The Empire had ruled the galaxy for centuries through superior technology and ruthless efficiency. Today, they had learned that they were neither superior nor alone. The question now was whether they would heed the warning they had been given, or whether their arrogance would lead them to seek another encounter with the ghosts of war that had emerged from the void. In the depths of space, the message continued to burn with cold fire, a reminder that some legends were real, some warnings were meant to be heeded, and some species were better left undisturbed in their chosen exile. The Empire had been judged and found wanting, but they had been granted mercy. Whether that mercy would extend to a second transgression remained to be seen. For now, humanity had returned to whatever realm they inhabited beyond the edges of known space, leaving only questions, fear, and the growing certainty that the galaxy was far more dangerous than anyone had imagined. The age of Imperial dominance was ending. The age of humanity had begun.